Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's Amanda from Scrimpingmommy.co.uk. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be making a little gift box. It's a fun gift box, really aimed at a child or somebody who's very young at heart. So we're starting with a piece of Emerald Envy cardstock, and it measures 8.5 inches by 7.5 inches. I've already cut it and it's on my scoreboard. On the long side, I'm going to score it at 1 7/8. 4, and I'm working in inches, 5 7/8, and 8. All of the measurements will be over on my blog at scrimpingmommy.co.uk. So if I go a bit fast or you don't keep up with me, don't worry, you can go over there and get them. And the link is always just below the video in the description box. So I'm going to just turn it once like that. And I'm going to score on the short side at 3/4 inch, 2.5 inch, and 5.5 inch, 2.5 and 5.5, and then we can put that away. Just get my DSP, move my scoreboard out of the way. I'm just going to get my bone folder and I'm going to score and burnish all of these crease mats. Let me just make sure my mat stays straight. It slides about because I've got a glass table protector underneath. Sometimes I sellotape it down and sometimes I forget. So I'm just, I've gone offline there. Scoring and folding and burnishing. Sorry, I've already scored. What am I on about? Folding and burnishing, folding and burnishing. Right, so we're going to do some cutting. I could do with my template out so I can remember what I'm doing. Put my template out at the side of me. Right, so this narrow strip here is going to be what we attach the box together with when it's formed. And this here is going to be the closure. So that tells me that we can get rid of this small section here. We don't need that. Okay, let's get rid of that. And then we want to cut up to the first score line on these 3 here. So, and this is going to be the bottom of our box, and those are going to be flaps that close at the bottom. I need to take this charm off these scissors because sometimes it gets in the way a bit, much as I love it. Okay, and then up here, which is going to be the top of our box, so I'm just going to turn it around. So now the top is now facing me. This is our flap, okay, so we don't need this small section here, but I'm going to cut all the way down to the second score line before I remove that part. Okay, and this is the flap, so we want to keep this, and we'll cut all the way down to the second score line there as well. Now this section here, we don't need any of that, so we can remove the whole thing. Okay, we'll get rid of that. So we're back to this. So this is our lid and this is the flap, so we want to cut down here to the second score line as well. So now this is our lid again, this is the flap that we'll tuck in. So these are our side flaps that are going to close in, and then the lid will go in, and this will help keep our lid shut so it doesn't pop open and it doesn't gape. But we don't need that full square, it's a bit bulky. We don't need these. So what I'm going to do, rather than removing those, I'm just going to simply cut these about 3/4 of the way, and I'm doing it by eye. I've not measured it and I've not scored it. Okay, doesn't matter. And I'm going to turn around and I'm going to do the same. I'm cutting about, I'm leaving about 3/4 of that section on. Okay, so then we have this. So again, this is the lid, that's going to tuck in. So these side flaps here, we want to just notch them. Okay. There we go. And also where this is going to tuck into our box, we're just going to notch that. It just helps it all hold together really nicely. Okay. And it does help having these nice sharp Stampin' Up scissors, I will say. Right, let me just get rid of all of that garbage. So this is our box now. Okay, so I have got some DSP layers and I'm using this really fun paper which is called Pick a Pattern. It's absolutely awesome. And I have cut one for, that is the back because this is our lid, one for the back, one for the front, one for each of the sides, and one for the lid. And I want it that way. Okay, and the measurements for these are, for the back and the front, these measure 2 7/8 by 2 inches. The sides here measure 1 3/4 by 2 7/8 inches. And the lid one measures 1 5/8 by 2. There you go, I've remembered them all. That's because I've got it written down outside of me. I haven't suddenly got really good at my job. I've got it all written down, so don't forget. I'm going to add all of these layers on before I put my box together, because it's just easier to do it while it's flat. You can leave this box in the fold flat state. When you just adhere that to the other side of the box, it all just folds flat, basically. So I've done this DSP with just a small 1/8 of an inch sort of increment. It's slightly wider there, just because the measurements of the box were made specific to fit something that I had in mind, and I'll show you what it is in a minute. But you can adjust these dimensions totally to suit yourself. I don't know if that could have been done with being cut a bit of a sliver shorter. Have I cut that wrong? I think that I've cut that DSP a bit, ever so slightly off. I'm just going to trim a very small amount off of that. I think I've cut it wrong. I'll check my measurements and I'll make sure the correct measurements are over on my blog, in case I've just made it ever so slightly wrong. The cardstock measurements and scores and everything are perfect. I've just done them side panels a little bit wrong. I think what I've done is I've mixed up my DSPs. I don't know what I've done there. It still looks alright, so I'm not worried. And because it's a nice busy pattern, I'm not worried about the picture following on. Doesn't matter. This does come in 12 by 12, does this paper, but I got mine as part of a paper share, so mine are in 6 by 6s, so I've just had to cut it as I can. Okay, and when I'm putting my paper layer on for my lid, because it's not put together yet, I need to remember that this needs to be upside down, so that when the box is together and the lid shuts, it will be the right way up. Okay. So it's just those side panels that I think I've got the measurements. Either I've given you the wrong measurement or I've cut them myself wrong, but just double check on my blog. I will make sure that the measurements there are right. The measurements for the cardstock are perfect. Right, so give all that a... We fold this over now, this thin strip here, and that's going to hold our box together in the first instance. I'm just using tear tape. Get my paper piercer. Okay. And that will fold over, and that's what I mean when I say you can store them fold flat. So, you know, if you're making them for craft fairs or you're making them for a birthday party and you're making lots of them, you can store them flat until you need them. Otherwise, they take up a lot of room, don't they? Okay, so then you pop it like that and your box is ready. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to put some adhesive on the flaps. Okay, Now I want it to go like that, like that, and like that, and like that. So I just want the adhesive on this flap here, which is the back large flap. Okay, and then I'm just going to have one strip of DSP, whoops, fairly close to the edge. So let me trim that down. Fairly close to the edge. Remove that. And then we're going to put the sides one on top of the other, and then we're going to push back that one with the adhesive, and then push that one there, and then all of the folds are to the back of the box and you won't see it there. Okay, so that's our box. That's our box completed. I'm going to show you what I'm going to put in it. I did have a little boy in mind for these, and this is the only boy style thing I could find in my house. And they are fun snaps, you know, where you throw them and they're like little bombs, and they make a fun snappy noise. So there you go. I'll just give your children some bombs, it'll be alright. Okay, and they do fit in sideways like so. Now I made my box specific to fit those in. The measurements are specific for that, but I will tell you that the completed box, it measures 3 by 2 1/8 by 2, so you can use that for other things as well. It's quite a nice size box if you look in my hand, and if you want it to fit something specific for you, change the sizes. It's really not hard to do. I'm going to add some of this lovely ribbon. I think I'm just going to add it. I think I'll just add it there. And this is Emerald Envy. It's lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. In fact, I think I'll just have it around the top, and then I'm not using as much. Shall I? Shan't I? Yeah, just around the top. Don't think it really needs a ribbon because the paper is so beautiful. This is, what did I say it was? It's 3/8 of an inch ribbon, and it is Emerald Envy, and it's called Striped Grosgrain. So if you're looking for it, and you can get it in lots of colours as well. I'm just going to do it to the side. I like them when they're to the side. See if I can get another knot out of that. It's such fun paper, this. I absolutely love it. So I'll just trim that off like that and off like that. And you could leave your box like that, but I'm going to just stamp a little sentiment on. And I've taken this from, have I got my set with me? I will put it away. I've taken it from Thoughtful Banners because there's just so many different sentiments on there. It's awesome. You do get the little ones for that you can punch out or cut out, and I do have the punch as well, but I'm not using that just now. I'm using just the sentiment, and it's going to say, "Oh, happy day." And I'm going to use Emerald Envy ink, and then it all coordinates. And I'm just going to stamp it on a scrap piece of Whisper White. I want it the right way up. Let's have a look. I'll just pop it just there, like so. There we go. What a lovely colour. Oh, happy day. Okay, so now I'm going to just trim that because it's rather large, isn't it? We don't need it that large. So I'm just cutting this by eye. By my wonky eye, as I've said before, because I can't cut straight to save my life, but I'm not going to worry about it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of the scrap paper, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to use some of the scrap paper from cutting off around the DSP, so it's not wasted. Who's Fiddler? Fiddly little sucker. Right, bit of doodah. bit of ye old glue. They've stopped calling it Tombow. They call it multi-purpose liquid glue now. Don't ask me why. Don't know. But there you go. So I'll use some of my multi-purpose liquid glue. Tombow was shorter, wasn't it, to be honest? And I'm going to just trim that out. Ours is not to question why. Ours is just to stick in ink. I don't care what they do, as long as they don't take my glue away. You can call it what they like. Okay, I'll just trim that so that it's kind of even, because I'm doing it by eye. That'll do for me. And I'm going to pop it up on dimensionals, just to make it a little bit more funky. And hope that, you know, whoever gets it enjoys playing with those little firecrackers. I'm going to just put it there. I'm going to put it there. Which dinosaur am I covering up? I quite like the elephant, so I'm going to put it there. And there we go. Cute little gift box. Let me zoom in. Oh, let's see if I can get it right way. No, got it wrong again. Cute little gift box using pick a pattern. I hope you like that. I hope you'll give it a try. Don't forget to check out my blog for the correct DSP measurements. Everything else is correct. I hope you like that. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.